I want us to have a chat about black nobility in Europe. You know, I have been saying it time and time again that I think we should do more into why every original of every region around the world is always black. Every original of every part of the world is black. And this is not making things up. This is not trying to lie so that we can hype ourselves. These are facts. These are facts that you can research about. I keep telling you here that whenever I bring you discussions like this, in short, all of my discussions are discussions that triggers you to do something. So when it seems unbelieving, it pushes you to want to know. So you delve into researching. That is all of my, it provokes you to do your research. Okay? And do not forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, share with one or two persons so that the information can go out. We have seen from all documents that existed, from all archaeological discoveries, that when it comes to originals of a place, dated back to how far science can go, it is always a dark-skinned being. And this only validates what some of us have been telling you for a few years now, that it was all black before other races came. And for how other races came, it's controversial, and do more research into that, even though I'm going to be bringing some other things. But I believe if you've been here, you know that we've been touching one or two, okay? And I'm just always being careful whenever I talk about things like this, so it doesn't seem like I am trying to bring down other people for my people's elevation. Okay, yeah, so let it not come up like that's what I'm trying to do. You look into Europe itself for some time, you look into Europe itself, you know exactly what I'm trying to say. I know these things, there have been effort to erase them from the media, the immediate media, so that people don't get to it. These things were there before now. But when people were not so curious, before now, people were never so much interested in the internet. Okay? So most of these things are just there, lying there without nobody talking about it. But since there is curiosity now, there's the age of knowing. Everybody wants to verify for themselves and know for themselves. There is now effort put in to see that these things are erased. I want us to listen to our brother, and then we will continue.
Let me tell you, they lied to you, starting with the Christopher Columbus story, and we're going to get right into it. You're looking at Charles V. His bloodline grandparents are the ones who financed Christopher Columbus, Ferdinand and Isabella. And you see how he looks. He looks like us, okay? That alone should let you know that something is off about the story they told you. Now, notice what they called his empire. That's the title. The empire on which the sun never sets. This was the Habsburg monarchy and the Holy Roman Empire. It was vast. At any given point time, the sun was up somewhere because he was global. This was global. These are his children, bloodline children, Philip II of Spain and Maria of Austria. They want your mind to stay stuck, your history to start in the 1600s. Now, this will be part number 8 of the Black Nobility of Europe series. And let's just get into it. Now, their control was basically global. But we're just going to focus on Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Italy. Because when I say those regions, I know the type of people that comes to your mind. Now, you can pause the screen if you want to read that snippet at the top.
All right. Now, if you pause it and try to read out what is here, it says, the House of Habsburg, a dominant royal German dynasty originating in the 11th century Switzerland. German, Switzerland. Hence, he had to outline the Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Italy. A dominant royal German dynasty originating in the 11th century Switzerland profoundly shaped German and European history. They held the title of Holy Roman Emperor nearly continuously from 1438 to 1806. So, whenever we talk about the older maps that talk about places in Africa, being the places recorded in the holy books, or the land of the Jews, or Judah and the rest of them, most of you will be like, oh, why do you think they allowed those things to be there? Because they were not even the ones in power. Okay, they were not originally the ones in power, so they didn't even have the power to erase some of the things that they did erase. The only time we saw them in power were the time that the world became chaotic, because immediately they got power, they start destroying the world. Immediately they got power, they thought of it to begin with Africa first, because they had been envious of what had been in the continent of Africa. Hence, we had the Berlin Conference of 1884-85. When they got power, they did what they could do, especially in places of power, okay, when they had power in places that they could control and manipulate. So they held the title of Holy Roman Emperor nearly continuously from 1435 to 1806, establishing the foundational imperial identity of Central Europe. The origins and rise to power. The first German king in 1273, Rudolf I of Habsburg, was elected king of the Romans, elevating the family to imperial prominence.
But let me ask you this. Why would a well-known German sculptor in the 1600s, why would he make expensive marble statues like this depicting people who look like this? And a lot of his work was in Italy. This is his name, Melchior Barthel, in the 1600s. Very interesting. Well, let's see how the Italians and the Germans look. Now, this is a very important part. I hope you don't skip through this part. Benjamin Franklin, he wrote an essay in 1751, and they published the book in 1755. We'll be reading from page number 10. The title is at the top. Okay. Let's see what Benjamin Franklin had to say. We're going to start reading in the red box. It says, which leads me to add one remark, that the number of purely Y and T people in the world is proportionately very small. Interesting. He's saying they were the minority. Isn't it funny that they call us the minority now? Let's continue. He says, all Africa is black or tawny. Asia, chiefly tawny. Listen to this. America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. He's letting you know the whole America was BLK or tawny, just trying to avoid the algorithm. Now you know how the indigenous American Indians look. But let's continue. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also. Interesting. He called the Italians and Germans swarthy. Interesting. Now, they try to play games with the word swarthy. Now, he wrote that in the 1700s. This is how you beat that. This dictionary was written in the 1700s around the same time. So this is a contemporary dictionary. That way we'll know the intent of the word swarthy when it was used. Okay. Again, this is Samuel Johnson's dictionary. Now at the bottom, I'll zoom in a little bit. At the bottom is the original snippet from the actual dictionary. And at the top is just the digital version of it. I have them both underlined. But let's read. It says swarthy, dark of complexion, black, dusky, tawny. Okay. But notice the example that they give. The swarthy Africans complain. Okay. So you know what swarthy means. They even said the swarthy Africans, okay? And notice tawny is in there too. So now you know what the indigenous American Indians look like, okay? Now, this tapestry was done in Germany in the 1400s. It's called Wild Men and Moors, okay? They're defending their castle. Notice their complexion. This is the nobility. They're defending their castle with the bows and arrows. Notice their complexion. They're defending their castle against these people. Notice their complexion. Interesting, okay? Again, that's in Germany. That was done in Germany in the 1400s, okay? Now, this picture, if you watch part 7, they found this statue. Well, this statue was made in Switzerland, of all places, in the 1600s. And he has the coat of arms with the double-headed black eagle, which is associated with the Habsburg and Holy Roman Empire. Okay, now you're starting to get a little context. You're starting to see. So the tapestry that I showed you, that's from Germany. This is Charles V bloodline daughter, Maria of Austria. This was the German sculptor. Now this was made in Italy. A lot of his work was in Italy. I just wanted you to see this picture so you'll know this is how Germany used to look. You know, this is how Germany used to look. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? This is the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to do way more videos about these people because it's so vast, okay? All right? Y'all be blessed.
If you're not following, yeah, that is key. I don't know what you're waiting for. Okay? Because this is what we have been saying here. And most times, most of you want to make it look like we are trying to hate on the YT people, discredit the YT people, and you make it look like we're just bad people that are just trying to, make ourselves feel better from seeing that the original people who had invented everything in the world is discredited. And this is to a good number of Africans, because I keep telling you here that our brothers and sisters in the diaspora are more connected to this fact, to this truth, because they chose to do the researches into these things. I know whenever I talk about Africans, I do not want to totally blame, even though I still blame, because they can't be in this age and time and choose not to know. But the knowledges that our brothers and sisters in the diaspora have or are exposed to, Africans are not exposed to that. And see, Africans see the YT people as advanced people, angels thrown from the sky, gods that has come to help them. And that is why you see that there is always love in their hearts whenever they have a conversation with these people. You see how happy they are, excited like they've made it. You see, up until today, 2026, and Africans still believe. There are things I don't want to say because it gets me so angry, but these are facts before us. These are facts before us. So whenever Abigail tell you that the whole world was populated by melanated people, it's not because I do not want other group of people or I don't like other group of people. These are facts. When I say facts, I mean hard fact. Fact that cannot be disputed however, whenever, and whatever you do, just to dispute this fact. This fact can never be disputed. Okay? So things that are there, if you try your best, research more, you will get to them. And so I tell you, I provoke you. I provoke you to delve deeper into things like this, so that you have understanding. So don't just understand, but overstand. When you get to that level where everything has come to light in you, you don't just understand anymore, you begin to overstand. Okay? Because if you are the original to the S, I don't see why you have to go to every places and unalive people and take over their property and take over their region. If you are the original, you don't need to be moving around like conquerors. We heard the European who had told us the truth outrightly that they start off as conquerors.
Have white folks just never felt the love from Mother Earth? Is that why we're so angry? Is that why we want to control all of the resources? Is that why, as colonizers, we didn't start off as beggars because we needed elements that we didn't have up in this northern region? But we started off as warriors, trying to conquer lands and people, and then manipulate things to make it seem like we're the gods and moral leaders of the planet. Is that the problem? That our lack of melanin made it so hard for us to be out in the sun and we couldn't really connect and appreciate the earth, that we couldn't be in places where there was an abundance of these natural resources. So rather than see humans that were part of that life force connected to the earth, enjoying themselves, dancing and loving the planet, we couldn't see it, we couldn't appreciate it, we didn't understand it, so we hated it.